Hello, folks. I was a little late, and I apologize. That's not a reflection of me not thinking y'all are worth it. It's just a reflection of me not being responsible enough to get in the car and come early enough. I forgot how far it was over here. So, my name's Doug Cochran, and I grew up here, man. I grew up in Midland, and I've probably been in this room before for other reasons. Probably at some point, some lecture, some class, maybe took an SAT in here or something. We used to have. You still take SATs, you still meet and come here, or you can do them all online now? I don't know. But anyway, I've been here a long time, so I know you guys are basically in juvie kind of right now, right? But not in juvie. Y'all are in like this is kind of a system, instead of going into juvie, where you can do some stuff to get out of some trouble you've gotten in. Is that kind of right? Pretty much? It's a program. Yeah, so everybody in here has probably had some trouble, has gotten you in trouble with the law here recently, I'm guessing. Nobody just comes up here, your age, on a Thursday night to hear some white dude talk about who knows what. So y'all have to be here. But this is a good thing. We're trying to get you to hear some stories or hear some people that have maybe been where you are or been close to where you are and might see a better way forward. So I know, I'm guessing there, don't tell me, I know I can't ask. But I know some of you guys have done some things that are kind of, I don't think, that big a deal. And some people have done some things that are, really getting you in trouble. Some of you guys have done some things that, say, somebody else would have gotten caught doing them. They probably wouldn't have been in trouble, right? Because it was somebody else. Somebody not in your situation, not in your part of town, not in your school. But some of you have done some stuff that could get a grown man in jail, right? So I don't really care about what it was. I kind of like to know usually what your situation is, so I can kind of talk to you specifically about how to, not to make fun of you, but to figure out how we can go forward. Because the whole plan of being here is, why in the world, how can we do things different and not end up here? And end up not only not being miserable here at night, but actually doing something really good with your lives, like enjoying stuff, like being able to have the freedom to go where you want, do what you want, buy things you want within reason, have the relationships you want, get the education you want, get the job you want. So usually what I talk about when I'm up here is I have this speech about that we got to have a plan. We got to have a plan for what we're doing, because if we don't have a plan, we're going to end up somewhere. I only see one woman, is that right? One female, right? So I can't even divide y'all up really very much. So I'm not going to call you all young men. I'm going to call you men and women. All you guys are going to be somewhere in 10 years. Gosh, I don't want some of you guys to be dead. But the odds say maybe one or two of you might be. And can you believe that odd? That's terrible. I don't want that at all. That's what we're trying to prevent here, among other things. It's not just I don't want you dead. I don't want you living not your best life. But 10 years is coming, man. 10 years is coming for you. You're either going to be, like, how old are you, man? So you're going to be 26, God willing. God willing, you're going to be 26. So that sounds crazy, but it's coming fast. The whole gist of that speech is 26 years is coming. How old are you? 23 is coming for you, whatever you are, 27. I don't know how old y'all are. Looks like around that age. Your late 20s are coming. And at that point, you can be in this really good place, or you can be in the same place you're at now. So people used to always ask me, hey man, why do you want to go to school so long? I'm a doctor, okay? I'm a doctor here in town, and I've been a doctor for about 25 years. And even besides being a doctor, I went to school for other things too. I started out as an English teacher at Lee, and then I went to medical school, and then I did a residency. And even recently I went back and did another 3 years at college to do something else. We'll talk about it later. But people would say, man, why do you want to go to school so long? I don't want to be a doctor because that takes so long. And I kept thinking, well, gosh, 12, 13 years after I graduated is coming. no matter what. I could either be, like the joke I always say, frying fish at Long John Silver's, doing that same job, McDonald's. McDonald's was my first job, by the way, here in town. That sucked. I don't want you all to have to do McDonald's. You could either be doing that, or I could have been a doctor at the end of those 12 years. And I was like, it's coming no matter what I do. So it's not like, oh, 12 years, I can't go to school for 12 years. Well, I've got to be doing something. I'm still going to be going down the years. I could be going down the years doing nothing but reading my comics, doing nothing but being online all day, doing nothing but causing trouble, doing nothing but being mad at the world. Or I could spend those same 12 years and be something good. People, when they figure that out, when it's too late, they go to prison, right? A lot of people that go to prison, they actually take courses and stuff, and they start bettering themselves because they got time. And they realize time is your best friend. Well, you guys do have time right now. You got a lot more time than I got. I mean, you guys got 40 more years than me, hopefully, of life. And so you guys can easily do more than I've ever accomplished if you want to. It's just if you want to. So the whole purpose of that speech, usually, is to tell you that things are coming. And I would go around the room, and I'd say, hey, man, what do you want to do? Do you have any plan? So let's just pick a few of you. Do any of you have a plan? I'm laughing because I know what usually comes next when I say this. Do any of you guys have a plan of what you want to do when you get out of high school? Does anybody know? Real estate? Okay, I like hearing that. Not necessarily real estate. I like hearing that you have a plan. What do you think? Mortician? I have a good friend, and she's a woman here, and she's in her 20s, and she runs one of the morgues here, one of the funeral homes here, and she's really good. She started out just not older than you. Started out. So with each one of these things, anybody else have anything that they want to do, that they're thinking about? If you're not thinking about something, you need to think about that a minute, because 10 years is coming. And the gist of that speech is usually we have all these jobs that people need. Long John Silver's, like McDonald's, like cleaning the street, like cleaning bathrooms in the movie theater. We need done. We need done. I need somebody to clean my toilet at the movie theater. But I don't want it to be you, man. I don't want that to happen. I want you to choose what you want. But somebody, if in several years you're going to be working and you have not had a plan, somebody's going to say, okay, who do we need for this job here? Toilet man at the bathroom. No, that guy's he's got a degree. She was a mortician. She's got to get her job. This guy's doing real estate. Can't put him there. This guy went to be a businessman. This lady's a nurse. This guy's a doctor. Okay, this guy's nothing. He's going to be the bathroom. He's going to clean my bathroom. And that's what society tends to do for us. If we don't figure out what we want to do, society's going to tell you what you're doing. None of you guys planned to be here tonight. None of y'all said a year ago, I can't wait to be in this college classroom, listen to this dude talk on a Thursday night. That's not what y'all's plan was. Society found that for you because we didn't have a good plan. So then I'd say, like, you want real estate, and I'd ask you, well, do you know what it takes to do that? Why did you say real estate? Somebody's introduced you to that or something.
It's the easiest thing next to us.
Do you know somebody who's in real estate? Okay. I don't think it is the easiest thing that makes the most money. I think it's a good, hard-working job. There's easier things than that, but that's a good job. My son does that.
It's just simple. If you don't even gotta college,
But you do gotta. Your mom has to know her stuff. If she's doing real estate, she has to know her stuff. She has to take. So has she told you that there's exams you have to take to sell real estate? So we have to say, if I want to be doing what mom's doing, how do I get there? You can't just leave here. You can't just leave here and walk out and say, hey man, I'm going to sell a house today. We have to go, oh crap, well, how do I get to where my mom is? Mom, how did I get there? And so she had to get a license. She probably had to work for a little firm. I don't know if she works on her own or if she works with somebody else. She had to get a license. She had to probably get some schooling. I don't know if she went to college or not, but she had to get some schooling most likely. And we have to go backwards. Well, how do I get there? So I have to do the things in order and work myself backwards. You want to be a mortician. You cannot just go working on dead bodies, right? You cannot, you don't have a license to do that. And you probably don't have the skill yet to do it. I mean, it takes a lot of stuff. You've got to learn cosmetology, makeup. You've got to learn anatomy, Morticians, it's a tough job, man. You think it's like just propping up a dead body. It is not that. You've got to learn how to take organs out of bodies. You've got to learn how to preserve the bodies. You've got, with a lot of science, you've got to learn how to deal with the families, right? You can't just say, hey, sorry granddad's dead, give him to me. Start working on him. Hey, I made a smile on him like the Joker. No, you got to learn how to be tender with families and stuff. It's a very important job. When your family dies, the mortician, like, you love that person. So you got to work backwards and say, well, how do I get there? And I don't want to be 45 years old when I'm doing this. I want to be doing it when I'm 25 or whatever. You know, the girl I'm talking about, she started literally at 19, and she's now the director of it. And I think she's, Kinsey McGraw. How old is she? You know the Carl?
I don't know. I know, but I don't know.
You knew that I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Daughter of one of the richest families in Midland. And this beautiful girl decides she wants to be a mortician. And so she's done it, and that's what she does, and she's successful at it. As a doctor, I go to a lot of funerals, sadly, and I see her all the time, and she's always respected. So that's really how that speech goes. And I give that all the time, but here's the real problem is most of you, if you didn't say it, some of you aren't even thinking anything. Like, I don't have any idea what I want to do. And this thing is the worst thing you can do. Because somebody's going to say, okay, I will decide for you. When your mom says, what do you want for dinner? And you go, what, did nothing happen? She would probably throw something in front of you, even if it's toast or something. And you're like, oh, I didn't want toast. Well, you didn't tell me. Who all here doesn't live? Who all lives with their parent? Raise your hand if you live with both parents. Does anybody live with both parents? 2 guys? That's it? Who all lives with at least one parent? Okay. So, and some don't even live with any parents, right? I jumped to conclusion when I said that, because some of y'all, your mom may not even put food on your table. I don't even know. So I jumped to conclusion. I grew up where my mom would put food on my table. She didn't still let me ask. She still gave me what we were going to eat. But what I was getting at is, if you don't have a plan and you don't say what you want and you don't start working towards that, something's just going to happen. It's just going to fall in. Most of you kind of pick out your shoes. You wouldn't let the society pick out your shoes. Nobody's all going to give you Jordans. You're going to get, I don't know what you're going to get. You're going to all get Asics. I don't know what you're going to get. But you're not getting Pandas or something. You're not getting Jordans. So if you want something to happen, you've got to start working backwards to get there. So that was one thing. I know that nobody in here is here because they're bad either. Y'all are not bad. Nobody in here is bad, like nobody. You may think bad. You've probably been told, some of you guys have been told you're bad since you can remember. And there is a very big difference between doing bad things and being bad. Nobody's bad because, or does bad things just because. You get something out of it, right? You get something out, your way of coping. Like if you're angry and you're yelling and you're losing your temper, you're stealing, you're drinking, you're selling, you're doing something, you get something out of it. It may not be good, but you get something out of it, right? It's not, you didn't just choose to do these things. But what I'm trying to get to you to understand is that to just try to find the reasons for why we have these actions. You guys do have a lot of anxiety and stress. If some stranger was looking out here and saw this picture of y'all, most of y'all look like this. They go, hey, they don't have any anxiety and stress. I know you're anxious and stressed. I know you've got stressful lives at home. I know you've got stress with your relationships. I know a lot of you guys are probably missing your dad or your mom at home. And that is stressful on a young kid. It's stressful on an adult, man, to not have people supporting you. Some of you probably actually care about your grades. And if not all of you, I doubt all of you care right now. I want you to care. But that's stressful. A lot of you got friends. A lot of you got girlfriends, maybe a guy friend. I don't know. But you got friends, and it's a lot of stress. I mean, when I was your age, I was really stressed out. I just felt stressed all the time, and I felt like nobody understood me, because nobody really did. And definitely not some guy walking in off the street in a purple shirt talking to me about stuff like that. But we got to start figuring out why we act the way we do. We all do. I mess up, and I do stupid things too. But let's just take something like, let's say we got anger issues. I know most of you guys have anger issues, probably. I sure did. I still think probably, but I think I got them under control. Hope so. Anger's not a bad emotion, right? It's just an emotion. Anger is just an emotion. It's not bad that you have anger. So how we're using that anger, are we punching people who look at us funny? Are we pulling a knife? Are we raging, screaming at our parents? Are you yelling at a cop when they ask you to step out of the car? Are you, I don't know, you can think of, any of you guys could think of a reason how we get our anger out of control. Yelling at a teacher, cussing at a teacher, throwing things, punching the wall, pushing a girl, pushing a guy, right? These are all things that'll get you landed up in the juvie system. But why in the world do you have those anger? It's because we usually have this pain and this hurt and this trauma, and we don't know why. It needs to come out, though. How come this other guy doesn't lose his temper? There's always that one kid in class that's always yelling, screaming, and getting wild, and sooner or later they have to call security. Security comes down and gets Juan or whoever, and Juan's screaming all the way down the hall, and like, oh, here he goes again. Well, Juan's hurting inside, and Juan's got a lot of issues because he's got a lot of pain, and he doesn't know how to let it out. So we're not going to get to the bottom of all that today, but I want you to start thinking about why you do the things you do that keep getting you in trouble. It's not because you're bad. None of y'all are bad. You're good. You really are. You're good. You're made good. And I think most of you know deep down inside that there's a lot of good things about you. But it's hard to get people to see that, okay? You know, it's really rare that I walk in here and there's a rich white kid sitting in the middle, right? You don't see that much, right? No really rich white kid with blonde hair, this rich white, he's just sitting there. That doesn't happen very much. So a lot of times you get dealt a hand that isn't always fair. And so, but you can definitely work your way out of it. You can work your way out of it. So Richie Rich may be the worst guy in the room, by the way. As far as who is good, who is bad, he's still not bad, but he may do the worst things at all. But that does not determine his worth and his identity. So if I asked you guys, are you a good person? I know what you would say deep inside. I don't know what you would say. Do you think you're a good person?
I'm okay.
What would keep you from being a good person? You're thinking about things you've done? So why aren't you good? Why aren't you a good person, is what I'm saying, if you haven't done bad things?
I'm an all right person.
Okay, I'll go for that. I think you're all right. Do you think you're a good person? Does anybody think they're a good person? Anybody? You think you're a good person? Okay, all right. I like that. You don't have to raise your hand, but some of you think you're a bad person. And it's just a flat out lie from Satan, okay? It's a lie. It's a lie. And also, some teachers have told you you're bad. Some friends have told you you're bad. Your parents may tell you you're bad. Those parents, just like me, have been through their own trauma. We were back here when we were young, and we were getting up, smacked around, yelled at, told we were losers. And we hear those voices our whole lives. So we got to get that out of your head that you are not bad, okay? You are not bad. Nothing about you is bad. In fact, you're the apex of creation. You know what apex means? The top. Like literally, you're a human being. And look everywhere else in the world besides human beings. You're like the top creation. You're like the greatest thing that could ever be. Just the fact that you can get out of bed and walk is a miracle. How in the world can I stand up and walk and close my eyes and move my fingers around? It's a miracle. You're incredibly made, and you're made to do great things. I want y'all to know that. Okay. Talk about a lot of you guys are in here because of relationships, bad relationships, not just because of the relationship you came from, but navigating bad relationships. Some of you guys are probably thinking, if I wouldn't have got in with Larry, or we'll pick on Juan. We kept saying Juan. I don't know. Anybody named Juan anymore? There's got to be some Juan. Larry got me in trouble. I'm in here with Larry. If it wasn't for Larry, I wouldn't be in here. If it wasn't for, what's her name, I wouldn't be in here. Shakisha. I don't know where I'm coming up with these names. I'm picturing these my friends of mine that I had in high school. Larry and Shakisha were always getting in trouble. So, and I still know Shakisha, believe it or not. She still lives here. But they were always getting in trouble. So I know you've heard this before. You got to surround yourself with people who are going to lead you in the right direction. That does not mean all your friends have to be the preacher's kid. Okay, it does not mean that. But it means your friends, your real friends, want what's best for you. They don't want just to be benefited. I don't want you to be just my friend because you might can get me money somehow, or I can have a good time with you because you might can get me some drugs, you might can get me some weed, you might can get me some alcohol, you might can hook me up with this girl. That's not, and if a good friend, which is hard to find at your age, would see you and say, man, you're having trouble, man. What's going on? How can I help? That is very rare at your age. You start finding them when you get older, but it's rare at your age because for you to ask somebody how you could help is just like unheard of, right? That's weak, and why would I ever ask for help? But if you're that guy, you start attracting, or girl, you start attracting that person too. So everybody is just like you as far as their fears and feeling like they don't fit in and feeling like who they need to hang around with. Everybody thinks I'm the only person in here who feels self-conscious about myself, who worries about what I look like or what I wear or what my house looks like or what family I live with or how tall I am or how ugly and good looking or something my girlfriend or guy friend is. I mean, everybody thinks that. I'm the only one. Everybody else is kind of cool with their situation. But we all have the same anxiety, the same stuff. So that being said, you can always, when you're walking up to somebody or you're talking to somebody, you're initiating somebody, you can realize they may be acting tough. They may be bowed up to me, but they are really the same as me. They have the same fears as me. And we can actually coexist and be friends. I know like my name. I could be friends with any one of y'all. It would take a while because y'all wouldn't trust me, right? But I know I could because I just see things about any one of you all here like, that was me. I actually like talking to kids more than I like talking to adults. That's the dang truth. You can ask my wife. Because I see more because I feel most of you guys are more real than an adult. You know, most of you guys are more real. And so I coach a lot. I have a lot of kids. And I'm hoping to have a lot of grandkids. I enjoy talking to younger people more than I talk to older people because old people tend to start hiding stuff even worse. But maybe Carl's an exception. He's real. Anyway, we got to be around people that lead us in the right way, and we got to know when to start distancing ourselves from people that you know are bringing you down the wrong way. That doesn't mean that you can't help right a ship of somebody else. You know, let's say you two are great friends. I don't know if you even know each other. But let's say he's doing something a little wrong. That doesn't mean you have to say, I can't be a part of that. You could say, this is a bad idea, but if he refuses to listen, then you do have to distance yourself. You just have to, or you're going to go down with him. Just like what we say Larry and Shakisha did to y'all. So, okay, so that's, also, this is a hard one for you guys because I know some of you guys probably do reach out and you don't get any answers. But mental health issues is a big deal. Depression and anxiety are real, like real depression I'm talking about, like real sadness where all day long I can't get out of this darkness. I I can't get out of this feeling like there's a blanket over me. I'm so sad no matter what I do. Some of you don't even know why you feel that way maybe. Some of you guys, I do know how you feel that way. I'm in this situation, I can't get out of it home. There's no matter what. I've got this stepdad that's yelling, screaming all the time, knocking my mom around. We don't have any money. I'm scared. That's a reason to be depressed that you can't get out of. Some of you guys are so anxious you can't sleep. Some of you guys have been through trauma, bad trauma. Some of you guys have seen some really bad things, I'm sure, at a young age. And so when you have those mental health issues, that's not crazy, okay? Those are not crazy people. Those are not crazy people. Mental health does not equal crazy at all. So you hear mental health, you're thinking of schizophrenics walking down the side, talking to themselves. And schizophrenic people aren't crazy either. They've got a chemical imbalance. None of you guys are fitting that category. I'm talking about when you suffer from depression and anxiety and you have a lot of stuff you really need to talk about, getting that stuff addressed. I would say a good number of my friends have taken antidepressant medications. Now, that's not the answer to everything at all, but that can be a piece of the pie, a small piece of the pie when you are hurting really bad and you need help, okay? So don't be afraid to get help, and that can be counseling, not necessarily the school counselor either. And there's lots of resources. All you gotta usually do is speak up and tell a teacher or something like that. That's all you gotta do, and they will I can almost guarantee you they'll keep it private. If you went to a teacher and asked for help for mental health, they'd probably be so taken aback that you actually went to them and helped them, went to them and asked for help that way privately, that they would seek help. Heck, my name's Dr. Cochran. If any of you guys are struggling, I'll help you too, okay? I'll help you too, and money will not get in the way of that. We would do it for free if we had to, okay? So that's what I do. I help a lot of people with mental health because I've been depressed before. I've been anxious before. I know what that feels like. What else? We want to talk about developing life skills. So I'm sure you hear this all the day. If we don't have a plan, we can't go do the job we want. We got to have a skill. I mean, the whole idea of school is to teach you something. It's not to make you miserable. It's to teach you something so that when you are of age, you can start performing that skill and be of service to the community, so much of a service that they'll actually pay you for it, right? Like, man, I'm so good at selling houses, people are actually going to pay me to sell their house. I am so good at painting up bodies and making them look good that people are going to come to me, okay? So developing a skill. We got to get these life skills, and that's just the school part. One of the life skills, though, is learning how to talk to people. Learn how to talk to people, look at them in the eye, firm handshake, that kind of thing. The best thing you can start doing, I think, is asking people a question about themselves. People love to talk about themselves, right? They don't really want to hear about all my great accomplishments. They would say, hey, man, I saw, or you know anything, I saw you won the championship last week. What position do you play, man? Tell me more. Did you always play that position? People like start getting excited. They want to talk about themselves. Where did you live? Where did you grow up? Stuff like that. What are you into? What games you playing online? People want to talk about themselves, even adults, okay? So, but looking people in the eye, developing these life skills, yes or no, sir, and having to play the game sometimes with society. That's what I'm talking about, how, like, maybe sometimes cops aren't fair, okay? Maybe they are going to be more aggressive with minorities. I don't know. I think so. I do think so. Okay? There's no cop in here, so I don't have to worry what I say. I think they are. Okay? I don't think they're fair. But I don't know why that is. I don't think it's just got a hate. I think they've been misled their whole life too, right? But you got to play the game so eventually you can have enough power you can step over that. You got to, yes sir, get your hands where I can see them. Why? I'm not doing anything wrong. Don't be fighting that. Just develop that life skill of, I'm going to play this game while I'm young as a means to an end so that I can get out and be older and maybe change this and nobody will be questioning me anymore. You know, I know a lot of people who just, because they think they have the right to do something, they think they need to do it. You know, like you ever seen those videos of guys, what's your officer, what's your badge number, what's your badge number? It always ends with that person slammed on the ground, right? Always ends with that way, that guy taken off to jail, some Karen yelling at a cop because she has her rights. It always ends them slammed off to jail. And you guys know what it's like to be kind of profiled and stuff like that. So you have to play the game. That doesn't mean it's right. You can still fight it when you get older of what's right or not. But you play the game so that you can get to where you want to be, so you can make things right. But that's a lot. I have to be nice to people that drive me crazy every day. I can't say what I really want to. It's my right to go cuss out your grandma, right? That's my right. I could cuss out your grandma. Freedom of speech. Should I do that? Heck no, I should not cuss out some grandma. That's like horrible. I'm not even going to get to some of these rights, give you guys ideas. I don't want, some of you guys probably don't even know some of the rights you have. I don't want you to know. Some of them we shouldn't have. America's really not mature enough to deal with all of our rights because we're a bunch of morons in this country sometimes. So anyway, developing the life skills. You got to do that. You got to start looking people in the eye, nodding your head, smiling when you don't want to smile, and not this kind of smile like, yeah, here, I see you. But like, I hear you. I'm respecting you. I'm honoring you because you're talking. I'm looking at you. I'm honoring you that you have space. You matter. What you say matters. Like when I came in here and said I was late. If I said, man, I'm sorry, I'm late. I'm sorry, I'm late. I'm sorry. You're like, yeah, you just don't care about us. You're just, no, I screwed up, man. I have to own that. And so I screwed up. That was all on me. Y'all were here on time. Probably had to be. But I wasn't here on time, so that's embarrassing. I screwed up. So these kind of life skills is what I'm talking about. Okay, how we doing, Carl? Let's see. Positive self-esteem. Boy, this will take forever. Like about 3 or 4 or 5 years of therapy for all of us. This just goes back to the first thing, that identity. I just want you to know that you are worth something. Each one of you guys is worth a lot. Some of you guys, is anybody here? I don't even want to ask that. Some of you guys make terrible grades. Probably not because you're stupid. Probably not. Really probably not. I doubt anybody in here is stupid. I mean, I really do. You might know somebody here who said, you don't know that guy, he's stupid. No, I really doubt you're stupid. It's hard to be so stupid that you can't do the minimum. I think most of you guys are probably fairly intelligent and probably, in fact, maybe even more than average. I don't know. But you can usually find somebody's eyes that looks dumb. You know, they got that look. I don't see any of y'all. You have sleepy eyes, but it's not dumb eyes. It's the caffeine. You do not have dumb eyes. All y'all look like you can do whatever the heck you want to do. That's what it looks like to me. So I just want y'all to get that self-esteem up. And you can't let people's past perceptions of you or their past opinion of you determine your identity. You know, you're a piece of crap. You're a lazy piece of crap. I didn't even want you in this family. You just take up space. You're just a bum. You're just a criminal. You're just an idiot. You're just a dummy who can't do this math problem. You can't. That is not your identity. So we hear those words. That doesn't mean anything. You could call me a turtle. That doesn't mean I'm a turtle. You can call me whatever you want to. I mean, nothing's going to change. That's one thing I've always at least been able to have is an identity. But I do remember being very self-conscious. I'm worried about what other people thought, but I knew they might be wrong. But some of us take it to heart when we hear things like that. And if you hear it enough, especially at home, you start believing it. And you just guys, if you're hearing that negative talk all the time, don't buy into it. You're the last you need to be your own advocate. So don't be telling yourself, yes, you are a piece of crap. You are. So I'm just going to live a crappy lifestyle then because I'm a piece of crap. I want you to get that out of your head. That's a whole nother topic. That's really about all I got for y'all today, man. So just remember, we've got to have a plan. If you don't want to be here next week, or how often they meet? Weekly?
Yeah, every week.
And how long most of these guys in here for?
8 to 12 weeks.
Okay, if you don't want to be in here 4 months from now, go around. We got to do something different. Because none of y'all are 18 yet, right? Anybody 17 yet? What's the lowest age, the highest age they can be in here?
I guess up to 17.
Okay, guess what happens? After 18, you know what happens, right? It's not this. It's get in there, cuff, I don't want to hear it. You're not a kid anymore. I don't even want to hear your conversation. I want to hear you talk. You're just another number. Okay? If we don't want that to happen, we got to start making changes now. Okay? I seriously, I know like I know my name. Any of y'all and all of y'all can do great things. There's no doubt in my mind, like whatsoever. But I've lived and seen through it. You guys haven't seen it enough. I know you can do whatever you want. All of you guys can be incredibly successful. You can make the money you want. You can have the relationships you want. You can have the husbands or wives you want. You can have the kids that you can love on and not be treated the way you were. You can break that cycle. You can be respected. You can respect yourself, and you can do what we're really made for, what are we made to do? We're made to glorify God. That's really what we're made to do. And if we're not glorifying Him, if we're living our worst life, if we're scumming it up and we're getting in trouble all the time, we are not glorifying Him. If you glorify Him, all of a sudden you get glorified because it looks good to do what He wants, okay? That's all I got for you guys. I don't want to see y'all here next time I'm talking because I think you're all too good for this, and I want you to do good things with your life. Thank you.